Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today I have, maybe some unpopular opinions. Today I want to talk about some recent foundation fails. I have about 6 foundations here in front of me that are relatively recent. Some of them, in all honesty, I absolutely hate. And others I really like, but I'm having trouble making them work. So I guess it all goes into a sort of fail or fail plus category, and I'll tell you why. I also want you to know that I have really attempted to work with all of these foundations before I consider them a fail. Foundations really depend on skin, on the type of skin we have. Oily skin or dry skin, that is definitely true, but also primers and application techniques. So I want you to know that before I gave up on any of these, I also have tried applying them in a myriad of different ways, because sometimes you can save them. Although I will be honest, my favorite products are ones that work right away and will work in a few different ways. When they are so fussy that they kind of break a nail if you use the wrong primer, I really don't have time for that in my day, and I bet a lot of you agree with me. So let's get started. The first category I have, goes for a lot of things, but I'm going to use one particular foundation to represent the category. And the category is SPF foundations. And for that, I'm going to use my beloved Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate foundation as an example, this one being the prime example for a number of reasons. My trouble with SPF foundations is many fold. Number one, you will never put on, this is an SPF 50. Wow, that's really good. You are never going to get a 50 SPF unless you put on so much of this that you look like you're wearing some sort of clay cracking mask. You cannot put on that much. Now, the reason it's 50 probably is because you can at least achieve a 20 or something putting on the right amount. I will give it that. You can achieve a lower number foundation. Here is my issue with it. I love this foundation. I'm a 5.5 bisque in pretty much every Tom Ford foundation, and I love his foundations. My issue with this is it was $150. That's right. Do I need to say it again? Let me fan you and pick you up from the floor. I did say $150 for a foundation, and no, I didn't buy it on sale. And no, I'm not bragging. Frankly, I should be embarrassed. But I was so excited for this, and I waited and said no to myself when I finally bought it. And then I used it sparingly because it was a $150 foundation. And I do have a lot of foundations. I mean, this is like my job. So I rotate them. And I was using this sparingly. It was like for special occasions. Well, I have found, and it's taken me a number of years to realize this. I have mentioned this in other videos, so you might know what I'm going to say. When a product with SPF in it starts to get old, and by old I don't mean 3 years, by old I mean 7-8 months, which for me is still usable. I don't share this, I keep it airtight, it doesn't smell, the consistency hasn't changed. But when it gets about 7-8 months old, the SPF doesn't go off, but it seems to, at a molecular level, are there any chemists out there who could explain this to me, break down in some sort of a way that breaks me out. I wore this foundation a few months ago, 5 days in a row, because I rediscovered it. I am still trying to conceal the dark marks where all of the breakouts occurred. All over, especially my cheeks, because that is really where we wear the most foundation, really, isn't it? I was breaking out so much there, I did not know what it was. And the only thing I thought is, wait a minute, this looks similar to, I bought a Dr. Sam Bunting, had it shipped to me from the UK, SPF. Not a foundation, just a sunscreen. And I was using that sparingly too, because I had to pay customs and all that sort of stuff. And when I used that about 6 months later, the same thing happened. And I'm starting to realize that when a product with SPF in it starts to get older, whether it's pure SPF or SPF foundation, it breaks me out. So $150, look at how many uses. So I've had what, 10, 12 uses out of it? I can't wear it anymore. And I love it. And it was $150. That is just an example of the fact that I am trying now not to purchase other products with SPF. If I buy an SPF product, I use it daily till I go through it and throw it. I'm not saving any SPF products. And foundations, if I really love one, I'm going to have to wear it until it's gone and never stop using it. It is not something I can put into a rotation or spend $150 on. Just saying. Now, you're going to say, well, Rebecca, that's not really a fail. That's a personal problem. For sure it is. But if you are having a product that all of a sudden you're like, why am I breaking out? Check it out and see if maybe you might have the same issue I have. I cannot be alone in this, guys. I really can't. So I wanted to share it. All right, next foundation fails. The next actually 3 in a row. The next 3 in a row I find to just be bad foundations. Unpopular opinions, go ahead and disagree with me. This is really just my opinion. If you want to state an opposing opinion below, please do. I love the dialogue. My word is not the final word. I understand that. Grab a hold of whatever you need. Get the smelling salts. Grab your pearls if you need to. I will stick with it. I do not like the Fenty Eaze Drop foundation. It is not blurring. It is not buildable. Yes, like I said in my intro, I have tried this several ways, several different application techniques. I got it to work best when I put on one light layer and just kind of dabbed it on with my hands over a little bit of primer. And even then, it kind of sat in lines I didn't know I had, made me look ages older, which nobody's needing these days, under my eyes. I don't like it. I get it. It's light coverage. I love light coverage. I know there's people that rave about it. I happen to love Fenty by Rihanna. I think she is a genius with her makeup brand and music, of course, but her makeup brand, I love it. But this product is a pass for me. I don't like it. I cannot make it work. I can make it sufficient for the day, but why am I paying to go, it's all right. So it does count as a fail for me. Another massive fail is from your friend and mine, Marc Jacobs, the Extra Shot Caffeine Concealer and Foundation. This is, both of these products, by the way, are matte, and there might be something to it. My next one coming up is matte also. It just, again, sits in lines, doesn't look pretty. Matte is fine, but I don't know if it needs to be that flat. This guy I got, let's see, the Fenty, by the way, I got in shade 7. This Marc Jacobs I have in medium 200, which is a tad bit light for me. And I was gonna go buy a better shade and use this just as an under eye concealer. It's just not good enough to waste my money on. It just kind of cracks and cakes. And again, I've tried it in a number of different ways. This little guy is usually about $39. It's on sale everywhere. Which brings me to a question. The Marc Jacobs, and I mentioned this before, all those cosmetics are on sale, like heavy sale. And they were on sale within a sale when Sephora had their sale. Is something happening over at Marc Jacobs Beauty that we should all know about? She says, question mark. I don't know. Maybe I'm just affected by the news when Becca announced they'd be leaving us soon. Maybe I'm affected by that. I don't know, but I wonder, and I wonder about good old Marc Jacobs Beauty. This is still on sale no matter where you can find it. It's pretty much universally panned. Drop a note if you like it. Several people do, of course. But like I said, $39, and if you want to give it a try, it's pretty much on sale everywhere. To go back, the Fenty Eaze Drop is $29.50, and I already told you how much the Tom Ford one was. Need we go over that again? Speaking of something expensive and not worth it, and also, again, another matte foundation that was just cruddy. Can you guess? Can you guess? It's going back a few months here. The Gucci foundation. This most recent Gucci foundation was Suckety Suck Suck. I am number 220N. It was matte. I made it work by putting a lot of moisturizer underneath it. If you really mess around with this, you can make it work. I don't have time to mess around with it. It is not, how do I put this? It is not so much that it's Gucci, because apparently it's not really Gucci. It's like Coty Inc. You know, basically a drugstore brand. Nothing wrong with that, but kind of weird paired with Gucci. They just kind of license it out. So it's no good. It's matte, it's ugly, it's not good. Just while we're at it, the primer was boring. And this was, the foundation is 68, the primer is 57, and it's just not a good product. It's just not pretty, and makeup is to make you pretty. All right, let's talk about shades. Let's throw shade at some shades. I desperately wanted to try, wanted to try that Kevyn Aucoin Balm foundation. That was from, oh, maybe even a season and a half ago. We're going back just a tad on this one. How many of you tried that? Oh boy, I tried to try it. So I ordered what I thought was my perfect shade, and I'm pretty good at guessing, and it was so light. It was ridiculous. It was like pantomime makeup. So I was like, okay, that's no good. So then I went a shade darker, and it was still many shades too light. So then I found a Sephora that had it in store, and I went in, and the darkest shade they had, which was like 4 shades darker than the second shade I bought, was still too light. Even the people at Sephora were like, how is that too light for you? I emailed Kevyn Aucoin. They said they couldn't help me. I should have emailed Beautylish, because I think they sold it and they would have helped me. If you are ever having shade problems, just as a side note here, Beautylish will help you over email. They'll take photos, they'll take in your photos of you in light and in natural light, and they will recommend, and they have never steered me wrong. So I should have gone to them. My fault for not going to them. I never found the right shade. So I purchased, I'm not joking, it's $52, the Kevyn Aucoin Balm foundation. I'll put in a picture because obviously I don't have it here. I kept returning and buying another one, and it was literally constantly shades too light for me. Did you find the right shade for yourself? Because I have heard a lot of people had trouble with it. I also heard a lot of people didn't like the way it sat on their skin. I will never know, because all I did was like stripes on my face and realized it was silly looking. It looks like I had borrowed someone else's makeup or something. Speaking of shade problems, I am wearing this foundation today, but I cannot figure out my shade, and so I am mixing them, and I am hearing from you guys in comments that you are also having trouble finding the right shade, and that is the One Size Turn Up the Base Powder Foundation. I actually really like this. I like the Fenty powder better. I do, and I had no trouble with the shade on that. But in this one, I am now mixing a light 2 neutral and a medium 1 neutral. I put the light all over my face, and then I add the medium over the top of it, and it's the only way I could make it work without it looking strangely different to the rest of my skin. And I don't mind doing that. It's $33, so I have $66 worth of powder foundation here when I should have $33 worth. I love the way it makes my skin look. It kind of soaks into the skin and ends up making a really, really pretty effect on the skin. It's you know, for a powder foundation, I think it's really nice even on dry skin. I can apply liquid over it. I like the foundation. I cannot really decipher what my shade is, and I wouldn't have brought it up if I hadn't heard the same problem from so many of you, and also other creators. So did you find your right shade in that? Did you try it and find your right shade? That little group there is my foundation fails for my various reasons, many of them personal, but maybe they're your personal reasons too. What foundations have you tried recently or even in the past few seasons that just haven't worked for you? And which of the foundations that I mentioned here do you love and completely disagree with me on? That's good. I like the dialogue. So do let me know. Leave those comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I hope you did. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel and help me build this community. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.